Greetings and welcome to our Atonement Lutheran School Chapel for the week. Today we're meeting in my office. I've invited you into my office today, as you might imagine, because it has something to do with this plant in front of me, this Dieffenbachia, that has been growing in my office for quite some time. Now, the reason I'm pointing out the plant is because some of you may remember a chapel that I did probably a little over a year ago, where I brought my Dieffenbachia into the sanctuary, and I said we were going to try an experiment. At that time, my plant looked something like this, and the sun looked exactly like that. And the reason I brought the plant in is because all of the leaves at that point were turned away from the sun. So what I said was, we're going to try an experiment in my office. I'm going to put the plant with all the leaves away from the sun on the table, and we're going to wait and see what happens. I had a pretty good idea what would happen, that the plant itself would turn itself around so that all the leaves would now face the sun. So, in not exactly time-lapse photography, but I'm going to show you what happened over the course of the last 14 months or so. What happened was the plant turned completely around. Pardon my back. And now it's growing in my office. I'm trying to be careful here. And it looks just like this. Everything is now facing the sun. It's grown towards the light. And that's exactly the point of my chapel this morning. That we remember from our days in Epiphany worship, how we said over and over that Jesus is the light of the world. That Jesus is the light of our lives. Jesus is the light that gives us life and growth and health. And we live our lives as we turn towards the light, just like the plant has turned itself towards the sun. So, I want to encourage each of us not to live in the dark, not to turn our back on the light that is Jesus, but to keep orienting ourselves and turning ourselves towards Him, because He is the light that brings us joy and hope and peace and the promise of eternity with the Father. Jesus is the one that we turn to when we need forgiveness and encouragement and strength to meet the challenges ahead. So just like my plant turned itself all the way around and faced itself towards the light, we too turn ourselves towards the light who is Christ, the light who is brighter even than the sun in each of our lives. Thank you for being part of our Atonement School Chapel again this week. We'll look forward to meeting again next week. God's blessings this week.